What's going on, guys? It's your boy G Rocket, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing the offseason winners and losers so far. So, first team, we're going to be starting with the Atlanta Hawks. So far, they've added Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who I think is definitely a great signing. Overall, he's just a really good 3-and-D player. He's pretty versatile. I feel like he might be able to play probably 1 through 3, but you probably want him as a 2. He could be a really good 2. Um, yeah, he was on the Timberwolves for a while, so I feel like overall that's where he played his best basketball the last couple of years. He's been definitely ascending, and I think they got him on a solid deal, and it's really good that they were able to take him away from them and just add another really good 3-and-D kind of guy. And it seems like around Trae Young, they're just building all these archetypes of these bigger 3-and-D kind of guys. So I feel like him with all the other wings that they have on that team will be a really good addition. He can shoot, he can play really solid defense, he can play make a little bit. And same with the next guy that they signed, which is Luke Kennard. So overall, they're adding a lot of shooting on that team. And Luke Kennard is also a really, really, really good playmaker. So I think he'll probably be their backup point guard, along with, they'll be looking at Kobe Buffkin, seeing what he can do. But definitely Luke Kennard is probably going to be their backup point guard. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, probably be their 2 off the bench. Because probably Dyson Daniels is probably going to play. He's probably going to be their starting 2. I mean, unless they want to move him to the 3. I don't know. They just got so much positional size, so much versatility on that team. So we really got to see, what's going to happen, what's going to go on with, how they'll play everybody, how they're going to utilize all these different guys. But really, really good shooter, solid playmaker, and, not a great defender, but he's probably gonna be that like Bogdanovich kind of guy that they're really been missing. So yeah, they just trying to prioritize shooting, it seems like. And then they also were able to trade for Kristaps Porzingis, so another 3-and-D kind of guy. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, an illness the last couple of years. He hasn't been, very, very healthy. So that's why they were able to get him for really, really cheap trade. They didn't really have to trade up much at all. So yeah, that was a really good trade for them. I'd say he's definitely going to have a really big impact on their team. He can start, add more versatility, positional size, and go into that aspect of them where they're doing the long, 3-and-D kind of guys. And yeah, he's really, really good, solid center. I'm pretty sure he's been an all-star before. I don't know if he's currently at that level. He's getting up there. A lot of injuries wearing on him, but should still be a really, really good trade. Definitely going to help out the team. And I think they had an amazing offseason. I mean, just signing those 3 guys. I mean, you lose Capella, Levert, Nance, Man, Yang, and Roddy, but none of those guys are really difference makers. I mean, you don't really need Karis LeVert because I feel like Levert and Trey Mann are basically both getting replaced by Kennard and Alexander Walker, who are big upgrades over that. And then Capella is basically getting replaced for Kristaps Porzingis. So if you think about it that way, they got a lot better. Yeah, I know I went really in depth for that one, but some of these other teams, I'm not going to go in depth as much. But yeah, for the Celtics, I don't think they had a really good offseason at all. I mean, they didn't get really good returns for really any of the guys. Like for Porzingis, they didn't get a good return. For Holiday, they didn't get a good return. They just let Cornette walk. Um, they signed Minot, Garza, Niang, and they traded for Simons. So I mean, Simons is going to come in and probably replace. He's either going to be the backup point guard behind um, what's his name, behind Pritchard, or he's going to be in front of Pritchard and be starting. Either way, I think he's a solid player, but I don't think he's going to probably average more than 18 points. Not going to be amazing efficiency, probably. He's not a good defender, so I mean, he's an interesting player, high upside kind of guy, but I just don't see him really taking that star leap. And then other guys, they're just kind of depth pieces. I mean, they're going in for the tank, so I don't think they'll be too great. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about the Celtics. They didn't have a great offseason at all. I mean, they did what they wanted to do, get under the second apron, but even you know, when Jaylen Brown and when Jason Tatum come back and Derek White, yeah, you have those 3 guys, but there's nothing else around them. There's no centers. There's not really any other wings. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be really, really rough. This season's not going to be a good watch at all for them. So yeah, didn't have a great offseason. I think the Nets didn't really get better or worse. They traded Cam Johnson, so they're probably going to tank a little bit more. Michael Porter Jr. is definitely a worse player. They got Trey Mann. They re-signed Sharp and Zaire Williams. So I like Sharp, Zaire Williams, Porter Jr., Terrence Mann, Cam Thomas. Trenton Watford, Claxton, like they'll still have like a solid-ish team. I mean, and then all the guys that they drafted, like Danny Wolf. So if Sharp could play full time at the four, maybe, or Danny Wolf, maybe he can play the four. I feel like if you can get some little bit of versatility with their 3-4 centers that they got, then I think that that could work. I mean, they definitely still have a solid like amount of guys on that team, and I think that getting rid of D'Lo, he got signed. I mean, Watford's gone too actually, but Watford, D'Lo, and Cam Johnson, like those guys being gone, your team's definitely going to embrace more of a tank. If you want, I don't know if they'll re-sign Cam Thomas, so we'll see about that. See what happens with him, but yeah, I think if you can embrace a tank and just let these guys develop, with these high overall picks, these overall just like maybe get another veteran or two in there, and then you could see what these young guys can do with a little bit of veteran leadership. Take on a couple bad contracts, and you could, with all your picks and everything, I think you could really realistically be like a solid team in 2-3 years. So solid, okay, off season, not really too good, not really too bad. Bad draft, but nothing too crazy. They re-signed Trey Mann, which is I really like Trey Mann. I mean, he was going to be really good last year for the Hornets, and they re-signed him. He got hurt early in the year and didn't really get to do anything, but he's a really good player. I really want to see what he can do. And yeah, I think he could either be a really good guard off the bench. He could start if they want, but yeah, just pretty good point guard, shooting guard, kind of versatile guy there. Really good offensive player. They traded for Connaughton. I think he's just taking on like a bad contract, just trying to you know just do that. When you're a bad team, you got to kind of take out those contracts, get some veterans. Dinwiddie, he'll be a good guard off the bench probably. Um, Plumlee, they just needed a center. They traded away Richards last year. They traded away um what's his name? They traded away Williams this year. So yeah, I mean overall, and they traded for Sexton. So I think that they did some moves. They did what they had to do, and I think that it's just you know very interesting what they're doing right now. Seems like pretty guard heavy. I mean, Dinwiddie, Sexton, Trey Mann, LaMelo Ball. Like I feel they got a lot of guards on that team. So we really got to see what the rotations are going to be. But I definitely like. I think they had a solid draft. And I think that with the draft that they had, and still having LaMelo Ball, if he can be healthy, if um, what's his name? I'm blanking right now. If what's his name? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. Their wing that's like really really good on their team. If he can be better, I think that um they could definitely be a lot better. I just don't really know exactly how much better they'll be. But I think they had a solid offseason. Like Sexton's good, Dinwiddie good. They got some veterans in here to make it just not, playing young guys. We'll see jumps from hopefully their draft picks and stuff. We just got to see what everything with the team at. But I think it was an overall, like, okay, solid offseason. I mean, you didn't really lose too much. I mean, Nurkic, Williams, and Misic, like those are kind of bums, not really doing too much. So yeah, they had a okay overall solid offseason. The Bulls, they re-signed Trey Jones. They acquired Isaac Okoro in the Lonzo Ball deal. I mean, they didn't really do anything this offseason. I'd say you're probably a little better, I guess. I mean, Okoro 1-for-1 for Ball isn't a great trade. You could have got more, but Ball is very unhealthy. So I'll take someone that's gonna be healthy, that's gonna consistently, hopefully, be solid 3-and-D piece. He can be a shooting guard or probably a small forward. He's in that kind of range there. He could do that. So I think another semi-versatile guy. Hopefully, can be 3-and-D. Hopefully, he can get that consistent 3-point shot. Just another guy there. Signing Trey Jones, good thing. I think you just got to build out your roster. You got to see who is going to stay on this roster. Who do I really want, to be on this team in the future, and who who's going to be my future. Like what rotation can I build out? And I think that they're building some of these young guys. They're getting some of these guys in, and I think that they're on a good path. They just got to keep building it up. So yeah, not really much. You can't really grade them. They didn't really do very much in the offseason. Same with the Cavs. The Cavs didn't do too much. Lonzo Ball on paper looks really good. They re-signed Sam Morril, so they got their guards off the bench. Um, we'll see if Ball can stay healthy. Then they'll really change it. Lost Jerome, which is a big loss, and they lost Okoro. And Larry, they added Larry Nance, which I guess whatever. I mean, he's fine. They probably Don't I guess I don't know who their backup center is. Um, Off the top of my head, I don't know. So I guess I'll probably be their backup center or four. So yeah, solid veteran. I mean, I think they're just trying to get like the veterans mixed with the young guys and just overall retooling this roster. See the most versatility, the best guys that they can get. They got shooting, So yeah, I think it's an okay offseason. Nothing really too crazy. Upside swing on LaMelo Ball and Larry Nance is just solid player. Resigning Sam Morrell, so we'll see what he can do this year. And yeah, solid offseason. Nothing too crazy to really talk about. Mavericks re-signed Exum, solid player. Got Kyrie Irving agreed to extension. Didn't really think that he wouldn't. Sign D'Lo, so D'Lo will be the Kyrie Irving replacement until he comes back, and then when he comes back, then D'Lo will come off the bench and replace Spencer Dinwiddie. So you lost Dinwiddie, got D'Lo. Not really a big change. Resign Exum like that, and resign Kyrie. So, yep, they're gonna be a really solid team in the West. They got good overall, good depth, and I like to. I want to see what they look like with AD, Kyrie, and everybody. That team you know, fully healthy. We'll see what they can do. Denver Nuggets, one of my favorite off seasons by far. You got Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway, Valanciunas. So you got four really, really good rotational pieces, and you only lost basically Michael Porter Jr. Nobody else. You didn't really lose anybody else that's of any value that was really paying anything. So you really replaced Cam Johnson or replaced Michael Porter Jr. with Cam Johnson, which big upgrade. And then you just got Bruce Brown, who can be your backup one, Tim Hardaway backup two, Valanciunas backup five, and then you got Strother and in place, backup like four, and you're good. You got a probably good 9-10 man rotation, really solid players, all veterans, and I think they're going all in for the championship. So really like that offseason. Detroit Pistons, you signed Paul Reed, doesn't really move me at all. You got Karis LeVert, you got Duncan Robinson, so getting some shooters in there, seeing what you can do. Yeah, just trying to maximize the shooters around Cade. Solid depth. You lost Fontecchio, Tim Hardaway, and Shooter. So, I mean, not a huge difference. I mean, Tim Hardaway's probably better than Duncan Robinson. Uh, Levert's probably better than Fontecchio. But you lost Shooter, so we'll see what they do. Backup point guard. Maybe just Ivy. Maybe Ivy could, lead the bench when he's in his minutes, or they could just stagger. We'll see what they do, but we got to see what their guard rotation's looking like. I don't know who their point guard off the bench will be right now. Probably not Marcus Sasser, but could be. I don't really know what they want to do there. But kind of nothing off season. Didn't really get anything. Warriors literally did nothing. They just lost Kevon Looney, which it's gonna hurt because they just got Trace Jackson Jr., who's undersized, Draymond undersized, so they just got to get them a big there, and they should be solid. I don't really know. The West is gonna be crazy next year. Here's another one of my favorite off seasons. Amazing off season, man. I mean, I'll get it out of the way. Jay Tate, nothing. Like, he doesn't really matter. Jabari Smith, probably expected it. Jeff Green, nothing. But Aaron Holiday, nothing too. But Steven Adams, really good extension. I mean, they're locking in on that double big. So yeah, he'll be something. He'll help a lot. Van Vliet, another really solid player. I think those are just gonna be two really solid rotational guys that are gonna continue to help. But here's where it gets good. Copella, right? Another guy to run that double big with, pick and roll like demon. Solid defender, just lob threat. Like, just he can really versatile guy. Him and Steven Adams are gonna run the backups for the centers, and they can also start too. Kevin Durant, amazing deal. They didn't really give up anything that they cared about too much about, and and he's going to be their offensive engine, replacing Jalen Green, who was their offensive engine before. So yeah, amazing trade. Really good trade. I really like that. And then Dorian Finney-Smith, it's gonna be solid. Another wing guy, veteran presence there. So yeah, a really good offseason. Don't really care about any of the guys they lost. Whitmore probably, not a he's wasn't really doing anything for them. They got like a second round pick out of it, so we'll see that what happens there. But yeah, I mean, it didn't really need him. Jalen Green just very inefficient, and Brooks too. Not a great player. Resign Wiseman, signed Jay Huff, or traded for Jay Huff. Lost Miles Turner, so they're not going to be good next year. They probably just tank, get a good pick, and then come back and have like a retooled roster. Clippers re-signed Batum and Harden, no surprise. Got John Collins in a trade. Got Brook Lopez for a thing, so they're getting some nice front court depth there. Lost Powell, waived Eubanks, so Powell hurt them a little bit, but they didn't really need him. They already got some good ball handling. Hopefully Kawhi's healthy. He seems like he's trying to get healthy. So if you get a healthy Kawhi season, then yeah, should be really, really good. You got the Lakers return Hayes. I mean, they got two more centers here, so I really think they're going to have some solid front court depth. Hayes can shoot. DeAndre Ayton has a little bit of an offensive type of bag a little bit. So we'll see what he does. And you lost Dorian Finney-Smith, so I'd say that's a solid offseason. You got two guys. You lost Smith, but I think you have Vanderbilt. You have Hachimura. So, I mean, you don't really need that other guy. You have enough, I'd say. Get maybe one younger wing, see what happens with Connect and Bronny, So I think you could build out a solid rotation here. Just got to figure out and be smart with it. So solid offseason. Nothing too crazy. Resigned Aldama, uh, Cam Spencer. I don't really know. He doesn't really do anything. Jackson Jr. So solid resigns for the Grizzlies. Cole Anthony, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Ty Jerome, Jock Landale, and they got 4 first-round picks. So great trade, I'd say, for Desmond Bane. Defense will probably take a step up with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Ty Jerome, really, really solid guy. Probably going to replace Desmond Bane to a degree. Jock Landale. So they got another big in there, solid player. Cole Anthony, another guard. So they got a lot of guards there. We'll see what they do with all the guards, But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to really happen. But yeah, really good offseason, I'd say. Jay Huff sucks to lose, but Jock Landale is probably just as good. And you lost Kennard, but you brought in a couple guys, guard, somebody, a couple guys kind of shoot. So yeah, I don't think you'll really miss them too much. So solid offseason. Miami Heat didn't resign anybody. You got Fontecchio, Davion Mitchell, and Norman Powell. I think that getting Norman Powell, man, is going to help the Heat a lot. Him, Hero, Bam, you could have a good good offense, and I think Davion Mitchell, come on, man, you could 1 through 3, or really 1 through 4, and you got they got that rookie center from last year. He could be a solid 7-8 seed. Kyle Anthony is worthless. Kevin Love and Duncan, they didn't really lose anybody. So yeah, I'd say they had a good offseason. They re-signed a bunch of bums. The Milwaukee Bucks, to be honest, nothing really moves me here. Portis like that extension, but the rest of the guys, man, they don't really do too much. I mean, Trent can shoot, Prince can shoot, but they don't play any defense. I'm not moved by this. I think Turner's going to be really good next to Giannis, so it's going to be nice to see how they can maximize that. But Gary Harris is kind of a nothing burger. They just don't have good players, man. You could have all the depth in the world, all these guys, but that's like nothing. You don't have another good center. Like, your centers are going to be like Portis and Jericho Sims, and they're both undersized. So I mean, yeah, you got Turner, but I don't know. I don't see them having a good defense really, and I don't know. Not enough guys that can score on this team. It's like just Giannis. Like, no one else is like, let me get a bucket. Like Portis, I guess, but he's off the bench, and they're just gonna need, it's gonna be need a lot more creation. I just feel like, so I don't see them being too great, but I don't know. They cut Dame, they lost Brook Lopez, big losses, but I mean, I'd say it's not going to hurt them too much, because I'd say that yeah, I don't think it'll hurt them too much, because Brook Lopez is probably about, I'd say Miles Turner might be a little bit better than him, and Dame's going to hurt obviously, but he was hurt anyway, so it didn't really matter. They re-signed these guys, as expected. They didn't add anybody, but they lost Nikhil Alexander Walker and two kind of, bums in this trade, I guess. They didn't really, or no, just a free agency, but it didn't really do too much anyway. So Nikhil Alexander Walker is going to hurt, but we'll see what they add. Yeah, Timberwolves not having a great offseason, not really doing anything. Sadiq Bey, Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole for the Pelicans. They traded McConnell. They lost Bruce Brown and Olynyk. So I like, or McCollum, I mean. I like Jordan Poole more than McCollum, so I think they'll be better. Looney's probably better than Olynyk, and Looney probably average. Sadiq Bey is going to be a good piece. Young, kind of a bust, but we'll see what he can do. Yeah, so a little bit of retooling in the roster. I like what they did. I mean, the Knicks they couldn't really do too much, but Clarkson and Yabusele is great. No, they didn't lose anybody on the team. So just running it back, and you're adding two really, really solid players. If you think about it, Clarkson's replacing Campaign, way better. Yabusele is replacing Achua. They're just gonna have they have 9 overall really, really solid players on that team. So the depth's way better. And yeah, great offseason. They signed all these guys. they just gave them way too much money, I'd say. Um, yeah, I don't know why they gave so much money to Chet. Like now, it's like everyone's just if you're a solid rookie, you just sign the max and you get 250 mil like off rip, and it's really not great. Jalen Jones they traded, yeah. So I mean, they didn't do anything really. Same team pretty much. So you can't complain. Nothing bad about that. Oh yeah, they resigned the Magic. Resigned Paulo and resigned Mo Wagner, and they added Tyus Jones and Desmond Bain. So they got a lot better. They lost these guys in the trade, Anthony, Caldwell Pope, and Harris, but doesn't really matter. Doesn't move me. But Desmond Bane's gonna be way better than any of those guys. Tyus Jones probably way better. Anthony. So yeah, I think Tyus Jones can run the floor. You got Bane at the two. You got Wagner, Poncaro, and then whoever their center is. Maybe I mean, yeah, it really could be any of their centers, to be honest. And you got really solid lineup, solid depth still. And I really like the trade. I think the Magic are going to be a top 4 seed. Justin Edwards re-signed for the Sixers. Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, and then they agreed to Trent Watford. They lost Yabusele. Yabusele will hurt, but you still got Oubre. You'll figure it out. You probably got some wings still. I mean, nobody they didn't add or really minus anything. They'll be a same team pretty much. Just got to stay healthy. Suns re-signed Booker, of course. Giuseppe, whatever. Um, I like the trade more for the Rockets. I don't like Brooks. He's not going to help that much. Green's pretty iffy. I don't even know who this guy. I don't even know who Nigel Hayes Davis is. I like the Mark Williams though, which is big. But you lost a lot of key guys. Like just Tyus Jones and Kevin Durant alone are like huge losses. That's going to hurt your offense a lot. But maybe they're going in for more on defense. Dylan Brooks, you got Mark Williams. So we'll see what they can do there. Yeah, but I think they're getting their big depth. They're like revamping the whole team. So yeah, Portland Trailblazers, Anthony Simons trade. They lost Ayton. They bought him out, but they didn't need Ayton anyway. And then they got Drew Holiday. So I really like that. That solid move. Could have maybe got a first round pick, but doesn't really matter. They had too many guards and too many bigs, so they got rid of that. Really good. Nothing burgers here. Dennis Schroeder could be solid point guard, but you don't really want him starting. But yeah, solid player. Lost Laravia and Valanciunas, so they're gonna need a bigs. But yeah, I mean, I think you got Rashawn Holmes, you got Sabonis, so not really too bad. Nothing really too major for them. San Antonio, Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, getting some really nice bigs behind Wemby in there. Maybe Olynyk could start with Wemby, see what happens there. Brandon and those guys didn't really do anything, so yeah, kind of nothing burger for them, but great draft. So yeah, I really like what the Spurs are doing right now. Raptors, yeah, re-signed Pirtle, Jarrett Temple, nothing burger. Sandro got another wing there, so yep, just got to see what they want to do in the offseason, but overall, it doesn't really move me. Nothing really changed, so yep, same kind of team. Jazz, they're gonna be a lot worse. Lost probably 3 of their like 7 best players, maybe 6 best players. Yeah, not great. They lost, like I said, they lost a lot of talent, but we really just got to see, what they're trying to do. But yeah, I don't really know what they're looking to do right now. Yeah, I mean, it's just they're trying to probably tank, which they should have done a while ago, but it's just not really. I don't know how much they'll really tank realistically. So it's kind of hard for me to see the vision. I mean, Nurkic, Kevin Love, and Colin, they're kind of getting guys that are older, kind of I guess versatile kind of front court players. So we'll see what they do. I just don't want any of them to eat into like Kessler's minutes because I think maybe Kessler gets traded. Maybe they're just trying to go full rebuild. But yeah, they'll definitely be a lot worse of a team. They lost a lot of guys. I don't know what they're really doing right now, but I don't know. I think you could have probably got more for Sexton. You probably could have got more for John Collins. So I don't think trades are great for them, but we'll really see what happens with them. They're kind of a bummy team. The Wizards were very active. Jalen Jones they traded for. They traded Jordan Poole, so I think they might be tanking a little bit, but they're also kind of revamping with this young core. Cam Whitmore's gonna be really cool. I think Malachi Branham, So I think they're swinging on some upside guys, getting a couple veterans here like Olynyk, McConnell, Blake Wesley's interesting kind of piece. So they're going for the young core with a couple veterans that are just gonna be there. I think they're taking on some bad money to just they're rebuilding. I feel like they're doing a right rebuild. Poole, shot chucker, you didn't really need him on the team, hurting development of other guys. You lost or no, you re-signed Olynyk. Or you traded Olynyk, I mean. So you traded him for Blake Wesley, I guess. So I don't know. You lost him, so we'll see what their center depth looks like. Um, but yeah, I think you lost Sadiq Bey, but I don't know. I think Branham could replace Sadiq Bey. Kim Whitmore could replace Sadiq Bey. Like you brought in more talent than I feel like you lost. So I'd say solid offseason. And that's it. That is all the teams. So I thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all just like, subscribe, comment, share what you'd grade all of these off seasons, who you'd say the best teams were, the worst teams, and yeah, just let me know what y'all think. Yeah, thanks for watching the whole video, and I'll see you on the next one. So yeah, peace.